Okay guys, welcome back to EAK TV. I'm here with Dr Angelo Dalli, a serial entrepreneur with involvement in companies in technology, entertainment and gaming. Welcome.
Hi, welcome.
How are you finding Delta Summit so far?
I'm finding it exciting. I mean, it is surpassing my expectations in terms of the number of people who have turned up, also the quality of people, so I think it's a fantastic event.
So which industry do you think is going to be most affected and most disruptive for blockchain?
I think there are going to be a variety of industries. I think the ones that have to do with transaction processing, for example, I think will be the first ones to be disrupted. I think blockchain and crypto specifically, has the potential to disrupt all the businesses where traditionally, you have a store of trust and value. I do think that consumers are going to be using the technology indirectly, and also that hopefully there will be easier ways of making payments over crypto in an easier way. I do think some of the current projects will obviously, some will fail, some will succeed, and we'll see, the ones that are based on solid business ideas percolate to the top, and there will be a breed emerging of new successful projects.
So that leads me on to my next question. Which blockchain, in your opinion, will be the most successful?
I think that the blockchains that enable transactions to be done cheaper. For example, I'm not such a fan of the expensive mining transactions per transaction. I think that the work on the proof of work, proof of stake, I think that kind of research, I think is gonna lead to the future. Basically, I do think it's gonna evolve.
And do you see a future of cryptocurrencies as cash, or more the application of blockchain technology as a whole?
I think it is cash, but also the application of blockchain technology. For example, I think that in audit and also accounting is going to be completely revolutionized by the DLT technology, because at the end it's a ledger, and that is what accountants do. So I do think that once companies start publishing their accounts using blockchain technology, I think it's going to be much easier to audit them, much easier to also double check and verify the credit worthiness of a company, and I think that is one way where the way companies do business is going to be disrupted in a positive way.
And this is a question that I asked to one of our speakers earlier. Cryptocurrency obviously hasn't had a global recession, hasn't experienced that. How do you think cryptocurrency would perform if a global recession was to happen?
Well, you never know. I think that is a very tough question to ask. It depends on how much it's being used. I mean, if people see it as a store of value and they have more trust, then I think it's going to be a good backup to the current financial system. And I think an area where, my area of research is more on the AI side, I think that is an area where AI will help people make more sense of what is going on in the crypto world, of all these transactions, and spotting opportunities and giving advice on a personal level on what to do, what not to do.
So do you see Malta playing an important role within blockchain within the EU?
I think so. I think that the current level of support that there is in making Malta the blockchain island, and the new regulations, which will hopefully will be in force soon, I think those are the right steps in the right direction. And I've been in the gaming industry in Malta when it started, so I'm seeing the same pattern all over again, just this time much faster than it was before, actually.
And what type of projects are you working on right now? What are you most excited about? Not just in blockchain, but you mentioned AI as well.
Yes, at the moment I'm focusing a lot on the applications of artificial intelligence, because I believe that the future is going to be completely disrupted by AI. And I do see that there is a tie-in with blockchain as an enabling technology to AI. I do see that everything is going to be pervasive, having AI incorporated in it. Just like the smartphone is now in everybody's pocket, I think AI is going to be everywhere in a very slow way. While I think that crypto and blockchain is more revolutionary, I think this is going to be a quiet revolution.
So obviously AI faces some hurdles. Some people talk about ethical issues. What other hurdles do you think is AI currently facing, and how do they overcome that?
I think mostly the availability of data. Because you need a lot of data to train the current AI technology. So I think something that we need to overcome is the democratization of AI, to make sure that there is open source data, maybe pooling data from smaller companies, because otherwise, if this doesn't happen, I do think that the tech giants are going to become more powerful and will hoard the data for themselves, which I think will make it more difficult for small startups to compete.
And just going back to your background, obviously as a serial entrepreneur, what would you say to entrepreneurs that are looking to break into this space? Do you have any advice for them? Do you think Malta's a good place for them to start?
I think that Malta is definitely a good place to start because of the regulations, and I think it is always good to do to do it in a good way, because at some point all the countries in the world will eventually wake up and start regulating it to some extent. I've seen this in the gaming industry, and I'm sure that this will also happen in the crypto space. I think that also having a proper solid business idea backed with a proper white paper and a solid way, I mean, just like doing a traditional business but in a new way, really. I think that is still key.
So, in your opinion, how important is the government's role to play in the future of blockchain?
I think that governments should have a light touch regulation, but I do think that governments need to help people have trust in the projects. I don't think that the way that blockchain, crypto specifically, is structured, you need to have government in order to achieve that trust, but I think it is inevitable, because of fraud, that people are, you'll get all these bad actors that are attracted to the money available. So I do think there needs to be a little bit of the old school, maybe light touch regulation to protect more the consumers actually rather than the projects themselves.
I guess it's really important that obviously with a light touch approach they don't stifle the innovation, but at the same time bring all the benefits of what regulation can bring. So just out of interest, what was it that first drew you to cryptocurrency?
I think that the application of something that is based on new technology, a distributed ledger that allows a store of value that is given, like the tokens that you used to play with, I mean, in games, that now it is something that you can actually exchange between systems. So, for example, my interest is in also having intelligent agents that can exchange value between each other in the future. I think this is something that can be really, really something producing interesting results in the future.
So, what do you think would be the best application of blockchain with gaming? I guess these are your two verticals that you most. What would you say would be the best approach to merge these two worlds together?
I think it is similar to the way that you use cash. It is just a token that you use, and in fact in gaming everyone is used to already buying tokens and not actually playing with cash directly. So I think it's a very natural fit. It's almost, you don't need to even explain to anyone. Everyone got it immediately. So I think that was a very natural industry.
Well, we're going to be watching this space, obviously, with wide eyes. Let's see if gaming and blockchain will come together. I'm sure it will. Thanks for your time today, Dr Angelo.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's EOK TV. Thank you.